And joining us now to talk more about grazing options for the fescue belt are Dave Owens and Pat Birch, both with Dow AgriSciences. Dave, tell us a little bit about the problems fescue creates and the costs that accrue to producers because of fescue.
Yeah, Kevin, it's really interesting. Most experts project that cattlemen lose about $1 billion a year due to fescue toxicosis. And it's a pretty insidious kind of a situation. Really, folks don't realize they're being as affected like they are. And it hits all of the areas of herd health. For instance, your mama cows are going to lose a couple of points of body condition. They're going to be slower to breed back, which means you have a protracted calving season, which means more work and some economic losses there. Your overall calf crop is usually going to be off anywhere from 10 to 15% due to toxicosis. Weaning weights are going to be down, and where it really hurts folks is when they ship those calves to the markets. If they've got that rough fescue coat, you're going to get docked pretty heavy. In fact, some feedlots, because they know they're going to have to baby those calves along, won't accept more than about 6% of those types of calves in any given load. So lots of different economic effects that are, really pretty bad.
But ultimately, $1 billion, you say.
$1 billion with a B.
That's significant. And Pat is a field scientist for Dow. I'm curious, I hear a lot of talk about seed head suppression, something very foreign to Colorado cattlemen. But tell us, what is the value of seed head suppression?
Well, the value of seed head suppression, it's a project we've been working on for quite a few years, probably about 7 or 8 years, developing this concept. And it just improves that forage quality. And we began first to look at it as far as weight gain with stocker calves, and saw a dramatic increase and in fact a very consistent response. And so that's something that we've been working on, is just trying to identify how to work that into a management system now as we look at managing that seed head suppression.
And chaparral is your product that you use for seed head suppression, is that right?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit how that works.
All right. The application has a very narrow window of application. You have to catch it in that very early stage, just before those seed heads begin to emerge, probably within about 2 to 3 weeks of that timing. And by doing that, you're not only getting weed control at that time, but you're also picking up that seed head suppression and arresting that seed head development. And so it keeps it more in a vegetative state. And so that's the quality of that forage increases, but then the reduction in the amount of toxic endophyte that the cattle are consuming improves their health.
And Dave, what other benefits do you see of seed head suppression?
One of the really great things is you're going to get a bump in your percentage calf crop right off the bat. And you'll also tighten up that calving window. So instead of a 120-day calving window, you can get that squeezed down to 60, 75 days, somewhere around in there, more of a normal type window. And again, your cows are going to come off of those pastures when it gets time to breed back. They'll be in their body condition scores are going to be a couple of points better than those that are grazing fescue, hot fescue alone.
So we talked timing a little bit, and you said something that it's important when you come in and spray that chaparral. Tell us what cattlemen should be considering as it relates to timing.
Well, timing is the key. Some of the times, like we get into years like this where we're getting green up here in March in our fescue belt, and we're kind of chomping at the bit to go get started on spraying, but we really need to wait till that timing. Usually in the fescue, the majority of the fescue belt, we're starting around mid-April, and then we're going to run right up through that boot stage. And so it's very critical to hit that window of application, and you're going to get your best suppression at that point, and you're going to really see a response in the grass as a result of it.
So if a cattleman's watching the show and has some interest in this, but maybe you've never tried this before, what advice would you two give him?
Line up an applicator early. I mean, time crunch is essential. I mean, it's one of those things you can't wake up one morning, go out there and go, oh my goodness, my fescue's in the boot stage.
Gotcha.
I think I'll make a call, because usually then it's too late. So start planning now. Get it on the calendar,
Yeah.
Talk to your applicators, or if you've got your own equipment, get out there and make sure it's in first-class operating condition before it's time to go.
Anything you would add, Pat?
Well, we've developed a guide for it, because there's so many considerations that you've got to give to incorporating it into a management system. You want to preferably use some type of deferred grazing system, a rotational grazing system, because you want to be moving the cattle in there during that period where those seed heads are up. That's the time you want to be grazing these areas that are treated with chaparral. And that is the best time to get the value out of it. And so that period of May through June is your window of when you're going to be grazing that pasture that's been treated with chaparral.
Outstanding. Thank you guys for your insights. I appreciate that.
Yeah.